Oshae Brissett is athletic, can shoot, can finish, can defend, and absolutely nobody in the NBA media sphere is talking about him. Oshae Brissett came out of nowhere last season and had multiple 30-point games and just amazing performances. And the Syracuse product was never drafted by an NBA team and was looked at as a career G leaguer to never get a valuable minute of NBA playing time. But after getting called up by the Pacers and signed to multiple 10-day contracts, he played outside of his mind. Just amazing, amazing performances from him. And some called it a fluke. I was told by multiple Pacers fans that he would never amount to anything, and he was in reality just a G League level player who had a few good games and was never gonna actually be anything substantial in the NBA. And at the beginning of this season, it looked like it was going to turn out that way because Rick Carlisle was giving Oshae Brissett DNPs for the first few games of the year, and whenever he gave him playing time, it wasn't that much playing time. But then, once Rick Carlisle decided to play Oshae Brissett, he went right back to having games with 20 points and 10 rebounds and multiple blocks and just good performances. Oshae Brissett is this weird combination of a guy who he's not super tall. He's not super fast. He is kind of athletic. He's got a good vertical jump. But really, his skill just comes from being a good basketball player. He doesn't have a physical trait that makes him able to rebound or makes him able to shoot good or makes him able to defend well. Like, he does all this stuff mostly based off of just his basketball skills and his basketball IQ, and he is a true student of the game of basketball, and watching him play is one of the purest forms of a basketball player you can possibly see because he can do it all. And he's the perfect build to really play small forward through a small ball center because he's around 6'7", 210 pounds. So he's a bigger guy, but he's still a little agile and he's not super small. So he can play small forward, power forward, and center if you need him to. So he's versatile, and he's just so amazing. His athleticism can blow you away. His shooting range can leave you in awe, and just he will have amazing games where he's dropping like 22 points and 15 rebounds and 4 blocks, and it's just these amazing games. Probably, though, the main problem with Oshae is he isn't the most consistent player, and that applies to both his shooting percentages and how often he has these amazing games, because he will have an amazing game and then follow it up with a terrible game, and he'll flip-flop like that for multiple games. And sometimes he'll have stretches of amazing games, and then right after he'll have stretches of terrible games. Like, he can't pump out these amazing games consistently enough. And really, I think once he figures that out, he could be an all-star one day. You may think that I sound crazy on that, but if he's dropping 20 points, 7 rebounds, and a block or two on a regular basis, that's his average. He will average around 20 points, around 2 or 3 blocks, and around 7 or 8 rebounds. That is an all-star caliber stat line. And he'll have multiple games in a row of having those kind of numbers. And if he can just have those numbers more often, that would be his average, and he'd be looked at as an all-star at that point, 'cause you can't deny the numbers. And it's just, and we all know he has athleticism because I feel like most of us have seen that clip from the last game the Pacers played against the Trailblazers where Lance passed it to Oshae and then he dunked it behind his back. Like, the guy can pull off some amazing dunks and he's got good athleticism. If he can do this stuff more consistently, and again, they're not empty calorie stats because he'll play well, and yeah, sometimes we'll lose, but that's just because the Pacers suck. But he'll play like that and he'll lead us to victories sometimes. And once we put a team together that's actually built to win games, those numbers will actually help us win games. Because right now, every stat that every player is putting up is empty calorie because we are losing games constantly. But if you give him an opportunity to stay here and be on teams that are actually built to win games, which will be in a year or two, I think you will see Oshae Brissett emerge as one of the better players on this team, and I think you'll see him put up amazing numbers and just amaze us with some of the stuff he can do, because Oshae is he's something else. Oshae is a true Indiana basketball hero. Someone that we will tell our kids about before they go to sleep and talk about how amazing Oshae Brissett was for the Pacers and how he will outperform some of the best players in the NBA some nights. It's a truly beautiful thing what he does, and it's a shame that more people don't know about it.
You feel like you found a home here in Indiana?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a place that, really loves their players, and the coaching staff really treat us well. So this is where I want to be. The team that, I always tell myself, any team that gives me a chance is, I'm gonna give my all for, really the rest of my career. And I've always been that type of guy. Loyalty is a big thing for me, and I love it here. The fans have shown great support. So I just wanna win, and do my best, give my best to the city.
Got unlucky on a few plays tonight. One of those plays, I thought he was standing still, but he just hit the shit out of that one guy, and the guy went flying. They blew the whistle, and they called it on him.